A team of World Health Organization investigators is out of quarantine and ready to begin its investigation into the origins of the COVID-19 pandemic. The scientists are on the ground in Wuhan, China. It's the city where the world's first coronavirus cases were reported in December of 2019. Ramy Inocencio reports.
Finally free in Wuhan to find COVID's origin. 13 experts from the World Health Organization liberated after 14 days in quarantine. They tweeted photos of their departure. New York-based epidemiologist Peter Daszak showed off his clearance letter. He told CBS News before his release, China's first cases are his focus.
What contacts they had, what behaviors they had, and does that lead us into different geography or a different behavior? So it's unclear if China is the real source, the original source of the virus.
That will probably frustrate the many people around the world who believe COVID did come from China. Wuhan seafood market thought to be ground zero. The World Health Organization is expected to visit, but this place has been cleaned out and shut down ever since the pandemic started.
For the Wuhan seafood market, how does waiting a year make it tougher for the WHO?
Unless you do hours after the incident, whether it's a day, a week, or a year makes no difference.
SARS expert Wong Lin-fa in Singapore is tracing COVID's origin and says the market can still offer clues.
If they can really trace back how the cage was arranged, what animals were sold, basically WHO cannot win, right? If the WHO could not get a mission to China, then to say, they are toothless. If they get a mission to China, now they say it's a PR stunt.
But polished propaganda is what the Communist Party knows well. From a new patriotic documentary for the nation to a massive COVID museum in Wuhan.
Critics have said that they can't trust China to be forthcoming with all the data that they have.
Let history be the judge and let's be patient on those issues.
And we might need a lot of patience. Peter Daszak also told me that it could be at least 2 years before we know the origin of COVID. But Wong Lin-fa says it could be, get this, at least 40 years based on Ebola. The bottom line, Anne-Marie, is that none of us should expect any breakthroughs while the WHO team is here in China.
So, Ramy, I remember not too long ago, you might have actually reported that members of the WHO team, came and then they were turned back. China said that the negotiations weren't completed yet in order to sort of have them enter the country. Negotiations went on for a while. I thought that was a great question that you asked about, how do you do this investigation a year later? And then it's also China. I mean, how do we know that China is being completely forthcoming with the information that they do have? How is the WHO working with Beijing to get accurate information so we can figure this thing out?
Right. Well, verbally, at least from Beijing, from official statements, they are absolutely on board supporting what the World Health Organization is trying to do. It's in the best interest, at least optically and politically, if not scientifically, to open Wuhan and open the Wuhan Institute of Virology to outside investigations. But with that said, I hate saying time will tell, but we have to in this case because talking with Peter Daszak, he said that he actually doesn't know exactly what they're going to be doing, who they're going to be meeting. He said he has a wish list, for example, to go to the Wuhan seafood market, but he actually wasn't even sure when we talked with him. He's hoping to go to COVID hospitals. He's hoping to go to the Virology Institute. But again, they have 2 weeks left on their 1-month visa. And that also begs the question, is there even enough time to do all that they might want to do? I also spoke to Dr. Wong Lin-fa, and he said actually there is not enough time. Looking ahead, this is sort of just the tip of the iceberg, and then it could take a lot longer for us to come to any conclusion.
Yeah, it's certainly, I can understand that. So, of course, Wuhan was the first epicenter of this pandemic. And I remember your early stories. I think you got out of Wuhan just in time before they sort of shut the whole city down and isolated it. What is life like there now?
Can you believe it if I tell you normal? Contrasting that with the United States, I know from my family and friends there, it is absolutely not there. Just looking on the street in front of me, there's actually traffic, cars. While we were waiting here, there were people walking their dogs. Just out in the shopping district, there are people shopping. This is normal. I can't believe it. I'm just saying that people are shopping, but that's the fact. They're also wearing masks, and that is something very, very important. But life is almost as if COVID never happened at all, and I can't stress that enough. Of course, this comes with the politics and the optics of shutting down Wuhan and an approximate 35 million people early on, shutting the borders down, not letting anyone in. For example, if we left China, there's a chance we might not be able to come back because of visa issues. But that's how hardcore Beijing is in trying to protect their own people, in trying to protect their country.
That is really fascinating, and perhaps there are lessons to be learned too, because I know many people would like to get back to normal here as well. Ramy Inocencio, thank you so much.